The two strongest forces in life are time and words. Once they're gone, you can't rewind them. Words, my friend, hold a kind of magic. They can soothe the deepest pain or leave invisible bruises. They can build kingdoms or burn them down to nothing. Have you ever noticed how just one sentence can lift someone's spirit for the whole day, while another can echo painfully for years? Words don't cost a thing, but they're worth more than gold. They might seem simple, but they're powerful enough to steer the direction of an entire life. Before we go any deeper, do me a small favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay close. Because today I'm going to give you a phrase so potent, so emotionally gripping that 99.9% of men won't be able to forget it. Imagine this. You're standing in front of a vending machine. You slide in the money, press the button, and wait. Nothing happens. What do? You push the machine, maybe shake it, or even smack it out of frustration. That's how many people treat relationships. They keep hitting the same emotional buttons, repeating the same words, hoping things will change, but nothing shifts, nothing moves. Men are built with a certain design. If you don't get what truly drives them deep inside, you'll keep choosing the wrong tools and wonder why nothing's working. But today, I'm giving you something precious, a golden key. A lot of people believe men are simple creatures. Feed them, flatter them, and they're satisfied. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Men feel with depth. They just don't always show it. Society has taught them to appear strong, to avoid tears, to carry their pain in silence. Because of that, many men walk through life holding heavy, invisible baggage. They won't always speak up. They won't always show their struggles. But inside, they're hoping, sometimes desperately, that someone truly sees them. And here's where the surprise comes in. Many women think they have to be flawless, wildly successful, or constantly entertaining to keep a man's attention. But the truth is, what makes a man stay isn't perfection. It's the feeling of being seen, truly appreciated, and deeply respected. Picture a stray dog. It doesn't trust easily. It's been hurt. You could hold out food and still it might back away. Why? Because it hasn't learned that you're safe yet. But if you show up with patience, kindness, and consistent care, something changes. It begins to trust. It stays. It chooses you. Men are not that different. They wear emotional armor. They won't drop it just because you ask. They need to feel it's safe. And nothing slips past that armor faster than the right words said from the heart at the perfect time. Now, before you start thinking this is some clever trick to control men, stop. This isn't manipulation. This is understanding. It's about learning how to communicate with intention in a way that reaches someone on a soul level. Because while everyone is busy talking, hardly anyone is truly connecting. But once you know how to speak to the soul of a man, once your words go deeper than surface talk, everything starts to change. So if you're ready to discover that one sentence that can soften even the hardest heart, stay right here. Don't miss this. And again, if you haven't already, hit like, subscribe, and let's move forward. Words are tools. They can be weapons or lifelines. They're free, but how you use them might cost you everything. Words can slice through or mend a broken heart. They can start a fire of love or burn it to the ground. One careless word can break trust. One deeply honest sentence can make someone feel valued for the rest of their life. Why do some speeches move us to tears while others fall flat? Why do some couples stay passionately in love for decades while others grow distant? Even if they say, "I love you" every single day, it's not how much you talk, it's what you say and how real it feels. Think of walking through a pitch black forest with just one match. Strike it carelessly and it might burn everything. But if you use it wisely, that little flame can be the light that saves you. That's what words are like. A careless insult, a cold tone, a sarcastic joke. These can cause deep damage to love and trust, but a heartfelt compliment, a sincere reminder, a sentence that hits the soul, those build closeness and safety. So ask yourself, how are you using your words? Are you making someone feel safe or pushing them away without realizing it? Are you lifting your loved ones or slowly draining them with little jabs? Most people don't realize how powerful their words are. They speak as if it's just noise in the air. But words are energy. They leave marks. They either damage or build someone's spirit, sometimes for life. Now, here's something you may not expect. Men, no matter how strong they seem, are deeply affected by what's said to them. The world tells them, toughen up. Don't let it bother you. But words stick. Words shape how a man sees himself. Maybe it was a hurtful comment from his father. Maybe it was rejection from someone he cared about. Or maybe it was the silence, the lack of acknowledgement for all that he gives. These things don't just disappear. They stay. Sometimes for years. Sometimes forever. But the other side is just as true. One kind word, said sincerely, can give a man a new kind of strength. It can lift the weight off his shoulders. It can remind him that he's not just a provider, not just a role, not just a function, but a human being with value. Words have started wars. They've written love stories. They've changed the course of nations and of hearts. So I'll ask again, how are you using yours? Because I'm about to give you a sentence that goes straight to a man's core. But first, you need to understand what most men are truly starving for. And it's probably not what you think. Let's be real. Society worships the image of the rock-solid man. No emotions, no needs, always in control. But that image is just a mask. Behind it is a human being. Every man, no matter how polished or put together, is quietly craving something he may not even know he's missing. From a young age, boys hear things like don't cry, toughen up, deal with it. So they learn to shut down. They build walls. They become silent soldiers, carrying pain but showing strength. Imagine a man wrapped in layers of emotional armor, walking through life like everything's fine. People assume he's okay because he never complains. But deep down, he's not looking for pity or praise. He just wants to be understood. To hear, even once, I see what you carry and it matters. Men don't need perfect partners. They need peace. They're not drawn to drama. They're drawn to safety, to comfort. And one of the quickest ways to offer that are your words. Ever watched a man chase approval from his boss, his peers, his followers? That's not ego, that's emotional hunger, because men are rarely told they're enough. They're expected to be strong without being seen. And that silence, it wears on them. It's no wonder so many men shut down. If you feel unseen long enough, you stop showing up. But here's where you come in. Your words can shift that entire story. One real sentence can give a man permission to be human, to breathe, to soften. It can tell him, oh, you don't have to carry this alone. You can say, I see who you are. And that's enough. So what is that phrase? What can you say that hits deeper than flattery or surface praise? We're almost there, just one more layer to peel back. Because even deeper than love is this, the feeling of being truly heard. It's so close to love that most people confuse the two. Let's be honest. Flattery is everywhere. Compliments are easy. Men hear them, nod politely, and forget them 5 seconds later. But the words that matter, the ones that stay, they're rare. Imagine being stranded in a desert, your lips dry, body aching for water. Someone offers you soda, sure it's wet, but it doesn't satisfy the real need. That's what flattery feels like. It fizzes but doesn't heal. Real words, words that truly see someone, those are like water to a soul that's been dry for years. That's when something changes in a man, when he hears something that hits the center of who he is, when he feels not just seen, but recognized. That's when you've touched a place in him almost no one else has. And now, are you ready? Because I'm about to give you that one phrase, one sentence that isn't about charm or appearance. It's not rehearsed or cliche. It's simple. But if said from your heart, it'll move him in a way he'll never forget. He'll lean in. His guard will lower. Something inside will settle. Because the truth is, most men go through life unnoticed. They do what needs to be done. They show up. They push through. And most of the time, no one sees them. But when someone looks him in the eyes and says, I see you. I see your effort. And I deeply respect what you do, that changes everything. Because that's not just a nice thing to say, but that's a mirror. That's a moment where he feels like his invisible labor, his quiet sacrifices, his strength, they matter. More than love, more than desire, what men often crave most is this: to be respected, to be appreciated. A woman could say, I love you every day. But if her words constantly belittle or ignore what he gives, he'll feel empty. But if she says, I notice you, I value what you do, I appreciate you, he fills up, he lights up, he wants to give even more. Respect is honor. And when a man feels honored, there is no limit to what he'll give you in return. So let go of the shallow praise, skip the rehearsed lines, choose the words that touch his soul. Because when a man hears I see you, it's like finally breathing after being underwater. It's like finding shade in the middle of a blazing desert. Now you may be wondering, when should you say it? How can you express it in a way that hits just right? That's coming up next. And knowing when to say these words so they truly touch his heart and melts through his emotional walls. Stay close, stay aware, and let's keep going. Respect is one of the deepest kinds of love. If love is the fire that brings warmth to a relationship, then respect is the air that keeps that fire alive. Without it, no matter how much love is shown, the flame eventually fades. And let's be honest, a man can hear I love you over and over again, but if he doesn't feel respected, those words lose their weight. Love without respect is like offering someone food without giving them a seat at the table. It leaves them empty in a completely different way. Picture a knight in armor. He rides into battle, faces the fight, defends the kingdom, and comes back home worn out but proud. Now, what do you think he needs most? The cheers of the crowd? Piles of gold? No. What matters most is the moment the queen looks into his eyes and says, I see you, I value what you've done, I respect you. Because here's something real. A man would rather be alone than be with someone who doesn't respect him. And the sad part is, many women don't even realize when they're being disrespectful. Men don't always say it out loud, but they feel it deeply. They feel it when they're dismissed, second-guessed, or spoken to with a sharp tone. They feel it when they try their best, and all they hear back is criticism or silence. They feel it when their hard work is overlooked and their quiet struggles aren't noticed. And when a man feels disrespected, one of two things usually happens. He shuts down emotionally, or he begins to drift away. Either way, the connection starts to weaken. But when a man does feel respected, when he feels that his efforts are truly seen, his strength is recognized, and his silent battles are understood, that's when something powerful comes to life inside him. Respect says, I value not just what you do, but what you carry with you. He doesn't need to be perfect to be appreciated, and when he knows that, he begins to grow. He doesn't just feel loved, he feels secure, safe to be himself, safe to open up, safe to offer the very best of who he is. Respect isn't just a kind gesture, it's the spark that awakens a man's full energy. Behind every great man, every strong leader, every visionary, there's always been someone quietly standing behind him saying, I believe in you. I know what you're capable of. That belief is fuel for the soul. So ask yourself, do you respect the man in your life? Not just when he's doing everything right, but also when he's having a hard time. Not just when he looks strong, but also when he's feeling emotional. Because the truth is, men crave respect just like women crave love. Once you understand that, you'll see how easy it is to make a man feel truly honored and deeply connected to you. And if you're wondering how to show that kind of respect in a way that speaks directly to his heart, keep listening, because what you'll hear next are the exact words that can help a man feel more seen, more valued, and more understood than ever before. Now let's talk about vulnerability. The world often misdefines it, but real vulnerability is a form of courage. It's not weakness to say, "This is me." No mask, no shield, no pretend toughness. It takes strength to stand unguarded and let someone see the places inside you that are still hurting. Imagine wearing a heavy suit of armor. It's uncomfortable, hard to move in, but you've worn it for years. Life made you believe you had to. Maybe someone hurt you, maybe someone judged you, maybe you felt invisible, so you put it on for protection. And now, picture meeting someone who's also wearing their own armor. You're both protected, both guarded. What happens? Not much, no real bond, just two people hiding behind walls. But the moment one person dares to take their armor off, the whole energy shifts. It's like lowering your weapon in the middle of a battlefield. It sends a message, I trust you enough to let you see me. Can you trust me enough to show me you too? And here's something important. Men need that moment more than most realize. From a young age, they're taught to be strong, to never show weakness, to stay in control. They're told that feelings are shameful and that expressing their inner world is a sign of failure. So they hold it all in, they carry pain in silence, they fight invisible battles, they walk around with doubts they never talk about. But here's a little secret. When a man sees you being vulnerable, when you let down your guard first, it gives him a kind of permission to do the same. It quietly says, you don't have to be perfect around me. You can be honest. You can be soft. And that is the kind of safety most men never experience. There's one simple phrase that when said with honesty can cut through years of silence and self-protection. Say it with heart and just watch what happens. I believe in you and I'm here no matter what. Not I'm here if you succeed. Not, I'm here only if you stay strong. Just, I'm here. Always. Those words breathe life into a man who's been holding everything on his own. They are air to someone suffocating under pressure. They can be the difference between shutting down and opening up, between pushing away and reaching closer. And when he truly hears them, really lets them in, walls begin to crumble. Not because he's broken, but because for the first time in a long time, he feels safe. So ask yourself again, can you be the one who goes first? Can you remove your mask, your armor, so he knows it's okay to remove his? Because that's when something real finally begins to grow. Words have an incredible power, but only when used at the right moment. Timing isn't just important, it's everything. You could say the perfect thing with all the right emotion, but if you say it when he's not ready, it might bounce right off. Or worse, it could leave a scar. Think of it like planting a seed. Even the best seed won't grow in soil that's not ready. But when the ground is soft and the time is right, that seed takes root and grows into something beautiful. Same goes for speaking to someone's heart. Have you ever tried to comfort someone while they were still angry? Usually doesn't go well. Have you ever tried to lift someone up when they were lost in their own doubt, only to have them push you away? It's not that your words were wrong, it's just that the moment wasn't right. Most people focus on what to say, but very few understand when to say it. When you learn to feel his mood, sense his emotional state, and listen with more than just your ears, that's when your words start to land deep. That's when they stop sounding like just words and begin to feel like a safe place. When your timing is right and your words are gentle, that's when doors open. That's when his heart softens. That's when the real closeness begins. So don't just speak, feel. Notice, pause when needed, wait for the right moment, and then speak from love, from stillness, from truth. And your words, they'll do what they're meant to do. The words you use create the space between you and him. They don't just communicate, they shape the emotional world you share. Have you ever been around someone who doesn't say much, yet their presence speaks volumes? People stop and listen. People feel moved. That's not magic. It's the quiet power of words, filled with purpose and intention. But this isn't about memorizing phrases or trying to outsmart emotions. That's not connection. It's manipulation, and men can spot that from miles away. This is about being real, about showing up with honesty, about saying what's in your heart with no games and no hidden agenda. Because every man, no matter how put together he seems, how strong, how confident, wants the same three things above all else: to be truly seen, to be respected deeply, and to feel safe to be himself with you. And when to say it. When you learn to feel his mood, sense his emotional state, and listen with more than just your ears, that's when your words start to land deep. That's when they stop sounding like just words and begin to feel like a safe place. When your timing is right and your words are gentle, that's when doors open. That's when his heart softens. That's when the real closeness begins. So don't just speak, feel, notice, pause when needed, wait for the right moment, and then speak from love, from stillness, from truth. And your words, they'll do what they're meant to do. The words you use create the space between you and him. They don't just communicate, they shape the emotional world you share. Have you ever been around someone who doesn't say much, yet their presence speaks volumes? People stop and listen. People feel moved. That's not magic. It's the quiet power of words, filled with purpose and intention. But this isn't about memorizing phrases or trying to outsmart emotions. That's not connection. It's manipulation, and men can spot that from miles away. This is about being real, about showing up with honesty, about saying what's in your heart with no games and no hidden agenda. Because every man, no matter how put together he seems, how strong, how confident, wants the same three things above all else: to be truly seen, to be respected deeply, and to feel safe to be himself with you. They can be the difference between shutting down and opening up, between pushing away and reaching closer. And when he truly hears them, really lets them in, walls begin to crumble. Not because he's broken, but because for the first time in a long time, he feels safe. So ask yourself again, can you be the one who goes first? Can you remove your mask, your armor, so he knows it's okay to remove his? Because that's when something real finally begins to grow. Words have an incredible power, but only when used at the right moment. Timing isn't just important, it's everything. You could say the perfect thing with all the right emotion, but if you say it when he's not ready, it might bounce right off. Or worse, it could leave a scar. Think of it like planting a seed. Even the best seed won't grow in soil that's not ready. But when the ground is soft and the time is right, that seed takes root and grows into something beautiful. Same goes for speaking to someone's heart. Have you ever tried to comfort someone while they were still angry? Usually doesn't go well. Have you ever tried to lift someone up when they were lost in their own doubt, only to have them push you away? It's not that your words were wrong, it's just that the moment wasn't right. Most people focus on what to say, but very few understand